I am going to have to call out a friend of mine, Rob from Smirking Gun Reviews. The other day, he came out with a video claiming to be from the future, saying he knew that Men in Black International was already bad because he was already on part 5 where he comes from. So I'm about to go see the movie, and I'm going to tell you, Rob, when I get back, I'm going to tell you just how wrong you are. And I'm going to call you a liar for saying you came from the future.
2 hours later.
You are from the future. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all-new Talkin Movies. As always, I am your host, the real Geno Reynolds, and today, as I joked about in the intro, we're going to be talking about Men in Black International. Now, I will warn you, there probably will be spoilers in this review, but come on, you've seen the trailers, you know what you're getting. You've seen Men in Black, you know what you're getting with this movie. But what this movie's about, there's two sort of intros to this movie. One is we see a little girl whose parents they saw something, and the Men in Black showed up and they get neuralized. But the little girl was asleep. Technically, she was watching out the window, but the parents said she's asleep. And also, so she sees what happens, and also she has a little alien in her room that comes into play later, of course. So we see that, and the girl ends up growing up to be Tessa Thompson. And she spends her life trying to find the Men in Black, where you have her applying for things like the FBI and stuff, and her making her own box saying, I want to be in that group. And so that doesn't end up working for her, even though she has like impeccable training records to get into this stuff. And then she ends up tracking down the Men in Black's headquarters, and because she has gumption, they give her a trial, give her a probationary period, and they send her to London to work with Agent H. Now, the story of Agent H is him and Agent High T are heroes. Agent H is Chris Hemsworth, Agent High T is Liam Neeson. They go to the Eiffel Tower because, of course, big landmarks and stuff always have to have connections to, alien technology. Well, it's like a portal to another world. And Agent H and Agent High T are there to battle the Hive, who are trying to come through the portal. Well, we see him shooting at the Hive, and then it cuts away. Well, what we end up finding out, what we're led to believe, is that Agent H and Agent High T, they pushed back the Hive with only their wits and some certain kind of gun. I can't remember the numbers of the guns, like something millimeter or something. And that keeps getting repeated throughout the movie. Yes, I solved, or we saved the day, or we saved the world with our wits and with only our wits in this gun. And it's like, you kind of know where they're going with it already. And I'm sure you do by me just saying that. If it gets repeated over and over and over again, you know kind of where it's going. You at least have an idea. You're hoping for a twist, but of course you don't get one. So anyway, the two end up working together, and they are supposed to go find a friend of Agent H's who ends up having this weapon that could destroy planets. And they're protecting it from the Hive. But anyway, so that's kind of the main crux of the story. So, if you've seen the trailer, you pretty much know what you're going to get. Now, granted, the trailer does have a lot of changes. Things they say in the trailer, the scenes are the same, but they're saying different things. And they were hiding plots of the story. But here's the thing. Okay, I may not have known everything going in this movie because there are plot things that we don't know from the trailers. But I figured out the movie in probably the first 5 minutes. I'd say 95% of the info in the first 5 minutes. And then when I heard the line, we beat them back with our wits and this gun. I'm like, oh, that's the other 5%. So I wasn't surprised. But let me get the other stuff out of the way first. Okay, the positives. If you like Men in Black, you're probably gonna think this one's okay. If you think Men in Black is just a good, dumb, fun action movie, you might like this one okay. If you like the formula, you might like it. But that's just it. It's a formula. There's nothing really new here. I'm not gonna spend all day naming all this stuff, but think about it. You got the things like cameos of celebrities that are really aliens. You've got the cool sci-fi weapons. You've got aliens that take over humans. Just all the different things you can think of in a Men in Black movie, it's here. So, again, you've even got cameos. I can't remember what those little things are called. They're like the worm guys that are all taking smoke breaks and stuff in the other movie. Well, there's at least a couple of them in it, or 3 or 4 of them in it, and it's a cameo. Frank the Pug shows up for like 2 seconds. He must be in the winding down career of his stage, because him and another guy are the ones guarding the door. Just like Frank the Pug, you've got a side character that's an alien, and this one is Kumail Nanjiani's character Pawnee, that you've seen in the trailer. He's the little guy with the sword that said, "We got our butts kicked." So you have the funny alien sidekick. So you got anything you're looking for in a Men in Black movie. I enjoyed things like them putting the weapons together from the car and things like that, but you've seen it. It's in the trailer. There's nothing really new there, except there's a couple more guns. A positive, of course, is Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson do have good on-screen chemistry. That being said, we knew that already. We've seen Thor Ragnarok. So that's just it. I can't really say much more about the movie overall. Is the humor on point? I found myself chuckling here and there, but nothing really major. Of course, the first movie's the best one still. The third one I thought was the second best. The second one I really wasn't a fan of. I don't remember it much. I do remember it had Rosario Dawson in it, and that's never a bad thing. But this one felt a lot like the first one. It's just the way everything kind of moved along. It felt too similar. It was like same stuff, different characters, different place, right? Instead of America, we're over in London, So there's really not any big changes. Now let's talk about the plot. I'm not going to give away everything, but I don't have to. But I am going to give away some of the big stuff. I said I figured out most of it from the trailer. I had a feeling, as I always do nowadays, that if a certain someone's in a movie, they're going to be a hidden bad guy. You know where I'm going with this. But I'm going to drag it out anyway. So, seeing the first of the movie, the thing with Hemsworth and Neeson, I go, unless there's a fun twist, Neeson's the bad guy. He's the bad guy. We find out early in the movie that, and even in the trailers, that the Hive can take over for us. Aliens that take over for us can shapeshift. We haven't seen that in any movies this year, have we? So you have shapeshifting aliens. So, of course, one of the good guys is going to be a bad guy. If they wanted to have an interesting twist, they would have made it Chris Hemsworth. But when they started teasing Chris Hemsworth might be one of them, or something was wrong with him, his friend, the alien friend that they were supposed to track down and get the weapon from, he was like, "You've changed." And it's like, oh, they're trying to fool me thinking that he's one of the Hive, right? The Hive. Because what we think is the Hive is not the Hive. They're aliens that are trying to stop it comes obvious real quick that, of course, the aliens... again, it's the Skrulls, right? We think they're the bad guys, but really they're the noble ones and they need a weapon to save their people, right? Just like the Skrulls, they're really just refugees, right? There's other other people complain that other movies stole, and they're changing the ending to Dark Phoenix because it was supposed to be just like every other Marvel movie, but this one, yeah, it definitely took some from Captain Marvel and a few other things. So, of course, knowing that they're shapeshifters and that they're pushing Hemsworth to be the bad guy, of course it's Neeson. Of course, I just had a feeling, yeah, he's the bad guy, and sure enough, he's the bad guy. Even though it's weird. Okay, you've got these, they're supposed to be the Hive, but they take over for someone, like the person they take over for dies, right? Whereas in the Hive, they infest the person, so it's really the person. So this is High T, but he's infested with the Hive, which you think's going to come into play, like they're going to save him at the end, but nope, they just waste him at the end. Even though he shows signs of, hey, he's still in there. I'm kind of like, whoa, I can't believe they didn't save him. They just blew him away. But anyway, the whole thing with Chris Hemsworth, whenever they had the thing where he's saying, yeah, we beat them with our wits and this gun, I'm like, he was neuralized. Of course he was neuralized, because they're talking about how he's acting differently and things like that. I guess he was a whole different agent because now he's all reckless and aloof, and so of course he was neuralized. I figured that out real quick, and I'm sitting there just going, just reveal it already. And of course it takes to the very end to reveal all this stuff, or at least near the end, around the third act or so. And so yeah, you know what you're getting with this movie. It doesn't make me mad or anything, but it's just like, was there a reason to make the movie? No, of course not. They wanted to take this older property, see if they could recapture the magic, or have people that caught magic with the Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones one, hoping they would get those people back. But I mean, the movie, again, you can get some fun out of it. I'm not saying you can't, because if you can enjoy, just, it's a popcorn movie, as they say. But honestly, I'd rather just go back and watch the first one again. And then there's also a twist with the little alien that was in Tessa Thompson's room when she was a kid. Somehow, some way, he ends up being at the right place at the right time. That's you, help us. And it ends up being a henchman for this weapons dealer, played by Rebecca Ferguson. It's like, oh, I'm on your side now, and I'm gonna hold a gun to my boss for however many years. So yeah, that somehow that happened too. That all came together. The stars aligned. The stars aligned for that to happen too. So everything comes together in a nice little bow. And things end up pretty much the way I think they're going to. Again, you can't really figure out everything till you got all the info, but once you get all the info, you're like, oh, it's going to go like dominoes, just boop, and you know how it's going to fall. Is it the worst movie of the year? No. Is it one of the more pointless movies of the year? Probably. Will we get another one? I don't know. I wonder where the whole 21 Jump Street crossover was going to come into play, whether this was an idea or they're going to bring them together, or if they're even going to do that anymore. Remember when that was a thing? So yeah, this movie, it's forgettable. I mean, you don't even have to neuralize yourself to know that you're not going to remember it the next day. Is it the worst thing this year? No. But is it pointless? Yeah. That's going to be all for this edition of Talkin Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Geno YouTube channel, like this video, and if you have anything to say about Men in Black International, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Till next time, I'm your host, the Real Geno, Geno Reynolds. See you later.